Okay, my lesson that I'm going to do will be over pronouns, and it's going to be for the 6th grade students. When I would start my lesson, I would start it off by asking the students if anyone knows what a pronoun is. After getting their response, if they don't know what it is, then we would go over what different pronouns are, like them, you, me, she, he. We would discuss all the different pronouns, and then I would have the students help me make a list on the whiteboard of what pronouns are. I would then ask them if anybody knew what a noun was. Once somebody would tell me what the noun was, I would give sentences such as, Nancy is wearing a blue shirt. Can you tell me what we could fill in with a pronoun for the noun Nancy? Then I would wait on a student's response to tell me if they would say she is wearing a blue shirt. Then we would do some other discussion, asking different questions, making up different sentences of different pronouns. I would then, after that was over, after we went through our discussion and we had them up on the whiteboard, all of the pronouns, I would have each student get out their weekly reader. Once they'd got their weekly reader, I would tell them to turn to page 10 and 11, under where it says, That's Awkward. I would then give the instructions of telling the students to look for all the pronouns that they can find in those 2 pages. While the students are working on this, I would be getting ready on YouTube, finding the song She Loves You by the Beatles. While students are, after I'd got that pulled up, then I would walk around the room, observing students to see if they were understanding and helping those who didn't. I would also remind students to look at the whiteboard to help them find pronouns. Once everyone was done with their weekly reader, finding the pronouns, I would then play the song on YouTube, She Loves You by the Beatles. I would pass out highlighters and markers, usually just the markers for those, and I would have them put a little tally mark while the song is playing every time they hear a pronoun. When we would get done with this activity, there would be a lot of positive reinforcement going, yes, that's right, or can anybody else think of one? All these things I think are important for teachers to do with their students. The Common Core standard that my lesson plan falls under is L6-1 for 6th grade students. Demonstrate command of the conventions of standard English grammar and usage when writing or speaking. Also, it would fall under the L6-3. Use knowledge of language and its conventions when writing, speaking, reading, or listening. And what I want my students to learn would be, students will listen to song and put a tally mark down for pronouns heard. Students will use highlighters to mark the pronouns in the article. Students will actively be engaged in the activity of listening. Students will review pronouns and be given music and the article to help them. Students will have 100% accuracy highlighting all pronouns in their article and song. The materials that I would be using for this lesson are highlighters, the weekly reader, the Elmo, a whiteboard and a computer, the music off of the computer, and student-held whiteboards. The steps that I will use to instruct my lesson will be, teacher will engage students reviewing pronouns on the whiteboard. Students will be given article and highlighter to find pronouns in the paragraphs. The list on the whiteboard will remain on while students are working on their pronouns. During the song, students will be given instructions to listen very carefully, to hear the pronouns within the song, she loves you, and put a tally mark on their whiteboard of how many pronouns they heard in the song. After reviewing pronouns, students will identify pronouns in a song by putting a tally mark down each time they identify a pronoun. Students will be given positive feedback on their work. Students that do not master for the adaptation, for students that do not master the concept, will be given extra help to find pronouns in the article and their own list of pronouns, instead of having some students can't look at a board and then mark down things. They have to have it right there in front of them. So that might be one adaptation that I might make on that lesson. I'm hoping to reach all visual learners, all audio learners, and also the kinesthetic learner. This was my lesson plan. Hope you all enjoyed it.